It's that time again. When I play a new Souls game, and then I beat that Souls game, I go ahead and rank its bosses from easiest to hardest. This time it's Demon Souls, a beautifully well done remake by Bluepoint Games. I'm convinced these guys are wizards at this point. They remade Demon Souls from the ground up to look this beautiful and stunning. For the most part, the remake plays the same as the original, but my ranking of these bosses will not take the OG into account, as I did not play it. Maybe it's my previous Souls experience that sways me a bit, but Demon Souls bosses really weren't that bad, like at all. This list will also be based on my New Game run. I promise I'm not avoiding New Game Plus. I swear it. So let's just get into it. Here are the Demon Souls bosses ranked easiest to hardest. Kicking us off at number 17 as the easiest boss in Demon Souls is King Allant. Technically, this is the final boss of Demon Souls, but you'd have to be hard-pressed to even call it anything of a challenge. To even have a chance of dying to it, you'd basically have to put your controller down and walk away. The true King Allant pretty much just flops around, and if you happen to just be standing there, you might get hit. I mean, what even is this thing? It's definitely an anticlimactic end to the game, until I looked up the lore, and then it was pretty cool. But as far as a challenge goes, sorry Mario, that's in another castle. Next at number 16 is the Phalanx. This pile of blob is surrounded and guarded by hoplites, and really the only real challenge is finding an opening. Fire bombs and pine resin does your sword good, and once you take out the few hoplites and find an opening, it's an easy road to victory. Just block any spear attacks, heal behind a pillar if need be, and kill it with fire. The end. Or just hit it with the heavy attack over and over like I did. Either way, it's an easy win. Next up may be a three-way tie to see who are the next three bums, because the next few bosses I'm really having difficulty choosing which one was harder than the other. Leechmonger, Dirty Colossus, and the Old Monk. Shoot, go ahead and throw Adjudicator in there as well. So let's get this straight before we continue, alright? Demon Souls began our Souls trip, and I can definitely see and appreciate how it all started. But because it is the first, some of these bosses were just very predictable and not aggressive in the slightest. We can make a case for Old Monk, since it is possible to go against a real player, Invader, and they can be very good. But for the rest of these guys that I just mentioned, let's try and sort these all out. For number 15, I'm gonna have to go with the Leechmonger, as it really doesn't do much in its attacks. But I gotta give you guys some context, alright? The first time I fought this guy, I co-opted with the lovely Ashenluka, who decided it would be fun to basically one-shot the boss as I was making my way down there. I decided to go back with the new character and experience it again, and to really feel it out and see if it was that easy. And to no surprise, it really was. Again, fire saves lives, and that's all you really need to take this thing out. Next at number 14 is going to be the Old Monk. Now, when I fought this guy, he was just an NPC, so I was not invaded by a real human player. His attacks were telegraphed and easy to avoid. I actually felt surprised at how easy it was. I expected more, to be honest. I mean, look at this guy. All red and everything. I dodged when I had to, and took him out pretty easily. I could imagine if it was a real player, maybe that would have added to the difficulty, especially if they were really good. But because that wasn't my experience, Old Monk has to be this low on the list. Oh, you stunned, huh? Ooh. Next up is the Dirty Colossus. And what makes this guy just a bit harder than the rest listed so far is that he has these flies that attach to you, and these flies drain your health. I mean, who wants that? It's kind of a nuisance, and if you don't really, take care of business, it could get you in trouble. You can actually burn yourself to get rid of them, but for whatever reason, it did not work for me. So I had to just accept that and just try and get it done regardless. And Luca was there, again, but this time just watching and letting me get it done. Didn't really participate too much. So I had an audience, which was pretty cool, but this guy, he doesn't move around much. He does very predictable moves and kind of stays in the center of the arena. So I just worked the area, backed off when I had to heal, and that was about it. Again, just not a very aggressive boss, and fire does the job. Next up is the Adjudicator. And this thing can give you a bit of trouble if you don't know what to do. Thankfully, I had a heads up about the trophy and not letting him fall in his death, so I knew to do attacks to his head or the bird or whatever this thing is. So I used some magic, and when I felt I was running out, made my way down there and would hit the wound on his side for more damage. The only major challenge is not staying in one spot, because that tongue will go places, let me tell you. It goes through the floor and can do some decent damage. So as long as you keep moving and make your way down to put in some major damage, all is good. He will go down or stay up, depending how you work it. But yeah, Adjudicator here, not too difficult in the slightest. Next at number 11 is the Old Hero. Now, if I just ran in there and started fighting with no preparation like I did the first time, this guy may have been the hardest boss in the whole game. But because there is a trick to beating him very easily, he doesn't go very far on this list. I pretty much just creeped around and hit him when he wasn't facing me. Old Hero is blind, so wearing the thief ring pretty much keeps him from hearing where you're at. So it definitely feels like light work because of that. It feels like a cheese, but it's not really a cheese because you're supposed to do it, but it doesn't feel right. And I remember feeling just a little weird about it, but I did it anyways. I felt bad for him, but then I felt good because I won. You know, it's a back and forth thing, but I got it done. Next up is Maiden Astraea and Garl Vinland as her bodyguard. And he is the reason I have this boss ranked a bit higher than the others so far. There's an easy cheese to beating this boss, but because I didn't know that for a few attempts and tried my hand at parrying Garl, I definitely went through it. The parry felt so inconsistent, I'd feel like I'd land one or two of them, then just get destroyed right after. I actually don't have any footage of this fight, because once I figured out how to cheese it, I felt a bit ashamed, I'm not gonna lie. I shot her with arrows for a good 5 minutes, she died, he goes with her, and that's pretty much it. That's the fight. And my Souls card felt a little bit weak after that. It was kind of sad. Next on the list is the Storm King. What an epic fight. Probably the most epic in terms of presentation, music, and cinematics. Killing this big thing in the sky with the Storm Ruler was incredible. So yes, that's pretty much how I defeated the Storm King, by picking up the Storm Ruler and striking it down right after I took out its little babies, as I call them. Is that Big Mama? Is that your mommy right there? Come on, let me do this right in front of her. You don't like that, huh? No more babies. The threat on this fight is definitely the crystal spears that are shot down from the Storm King, and the minions that can get you in trouble. All it requires is some really good timed rolls and good awareness. Once that's in check, strike it down and just enjoy the scenery. Let's go. Next on the list is the Idol's Fool. Now, because I didn't really know what I was doing, or the fact that I had to kill the guy behind the curtain who was controlling this fight, I actually fought Idol's Fool 3 times, all on 1 life. So I survived it, but it wasn't a breeze. Between avoiding the fake idols and avoiding all of the magic that was going on, it can be easy to get caught if you're sloppy. So I did my best to just heal behind the pillars and take out the real idol before it was too late, for 3 times. Finally, my chat decided to let me in on the secret and tell me that there's a dude up top controlling this thing and I need to kill him first so he doesn't keep reviving her. So I fought him, fought her for the last time, and it was over. So because I did sit up in my seat a little bit to get this done, Fool's Idol is here at number 8. Next up at number 7 is the Dragon God. Arguably, if not factually, the worst boss in the game. What a pain in the ass this boss was. I didn't know what to do at first, and I won't lie, I looked it up. Yeah, that's right, I looked it up. I don't care. Because if I had to die from a 1-hit kill one more time, I was probably gonna lose it. So yeah, basically this boss is sort of a puzzle in the way that you gotta know where and when to hide and run when needed. When his head would turn, that's when I figured out or knew that I have to run and get by. You had to pretty much look where he's looking, and that's how you do it. Step 1 was get to the ballistas, let those rip, get him down to where you're able to hit his tongue, and when he's not breathing, take it out. Thankfully, my strength and where I was leveled up at the time, I was doing pretty good damage. In the tutorial that I saw, they made it seem like I was going to be there for 10 minutes. I don't know what they were using, but it wasn't what I had. I took him out pretty quick. So yeah, this boss, once you know what to do, pretty damn easy. It's just getting to that point. And if you got to look it up, man, I am not judging you because I did it with a quickness. Next at number 6 is the armed spider. Even though I beat this boss in one try, it was not pretty. I was hit with the spider webs, I was slowed down, I basically tanked with my shield and took many hits, and I would just back off to heal, then get back in there and attack. Having enough grass to heal was the key to this fight. If I didn't have that, I was not gonna win, because I didn't use magic or anything but my sword, and it was very sloppy to say the least. I probably should have died, but I didn't, and that's why it's here at number 6. Next on the list is the Tower Knight. Because this guy is so early in the game, or at least it was for me, and after only farming just a bit, Tower Knight gave me some trouble. I believe I beat him on the 3rd try, but the archers definitely didn't make it easy. I had to take them out, then make my way back down to Tower Knight and take out his feet. And that involved avoiding his shield slam, which does brutal damage. A lot of patience was needed on this fight, and he was somewhat aggressive enough to where I couldn't stay in one spot, so that earned him some points as well. It's tough to find some aggressive bosses in this game, have you noticed? It's kind of crazy. But again, Demon Souls, the beginning of the Souls, so you know, they were learning. But yeah, Tower Knight here at number 5, and I think it's well deserved. Next up at number 4, we are getting down to the beasts of the game. Flamelurker here at number 4. I'm sure some of you were wondering when he was coming up, and honestly, even though he is this high, I didn't have a lot of trouble with him. I did beat him on the 1st try, however, his moveset and aggression is what separates him. I really value aggression, damn it. I know that if I was sloppier, I would probably have died. Much like the armed spider, I worked it like a tank. I took hits, I backed off and healed, and then I would put in damage when I could. I did my best to avoid his splash damage, but we gotta say something for that splash damage. It's a factor, because even when I felt like I dodged perfectly, I would sometimes still get hit with that splash damage. So yeah, Flamelurker here for his aggression and that splash damage and the damage he actually does when he does catch you, he deserves to be here at number 4. What a great fight as well. The arena, the whole setting that it was under, the lore, if you got time, look it up. Great stuff here. Flamelurker, I love you, damn it. Here we are now at the final 3. All right, we're in there. Next up is Maneater. What a cool looking boss and concept. Let me say this though, if Maneater was in an open area somewhere else, he would not be this high on the list. The bridge where you fight this boss is the real boss. I must have rolled off that bridge a good 3 or 4 times, because what would happen was that I would get knocked down, and because I was locked onto him, I would roll, and with his body moving all erratically, I would roll off the bridge. And yeah, that's pretty much how I died most of the time to this boss fight. I think there was one other attempt where he actually hit me and killed me that way, but every other time, falling off the bridge. So yeah, Maneater, come see me on this side, all right? Come see me in my territory where there's not a stupid bridge, and I'll show you what's up, because you're nothing, all right? Magic kills this guy. I used a lot of it. This is when I actually embraced my magic for, a boss, and it was pretty easy. Even when the second one comes in, as long as you can kill the first one quickly and before both of them are just wrecking you and you're falling off the bridge, you'll probably be all right. Also, when you learn to unlock as you're getting up, that'll help as well. You won't fall as much. But yeah, the Maneater bridge here at number 3. All right, now at number 2, we have the Penetrator. Because the damage he does is so significant, and because I fought him arguably way too early in the game, Penetrator is here at number 2. He definitely caught me a few times with some heavy attacks, including that penetrating move. That's an instant kill. I was dead immediately. Not only that, but the pathway to get to this boss is very challenging. So as I walked into the arena after going through all of those minions along the way, he took advantage of my poor soul. I was broken, and he took advantage. Penetrator is probably much easier with magic and when being a higher level, but I did neither of those, alright? So I basically chipped away for 10 minutes, and yeah, so congrats Penetrator, you penetrated your way to number 2. And finally, to no one's surprise, at number 1, we have old King Allant. I'm actually tempted to switch Penetrator and old King Allant because Allant was light work, man. It took me 3 times, but because of his soul-stealing move, I gotta add that into the discussion. He got me with that one time, and it was a little scary. He does pretty good damage as well, even when I was at my highest level, whereas with the Penetrator, I felt I was very under-leveled. So I take that into account. I dodged, hit him 4 times, backed off, and then repeat. Old King Allant probably would have destroyed me if this was my first Souls ever, and if this was 2015 when I was first exploring these types of games. But now, after Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Sekiro, and all the Souls-like games that I played, Allant just didn't faze me at all. But like I said in the beginning of this video, this is where it all started, and FromSoft only got better, especially when it came to its boss fights. It was definitely fun to see how it began here in Demon's Souls, and I had a great time going through it. So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed my list. Let me know where you agree or disagree. Let me know your list in the comments section. Who was the easiest? Who was the hardest? Definitely give me your feedback. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace.